Sunday came. I'm like, oh, I should go to church today. No, you should go back to sleep. Yeah, I'm going back to sleep. Jasmine is my academic fellow, and she handles any major academic crises we may have. And Caitlin is the resident assistant who handles any other major crises that we may have. And these are two strong, praying Christian women. You don't have to ask them if they're Christians, you can just tell. And they would try and get me to go to church or Bible study with them, and I would always have excuses. Like, I would come up with excuses because I knew that they were going to ask. They eventually stopped asking, and they just left me be. But in October, things changed, and life was flipped pretty much upside down. It was close to midterms, and I was still recovering from a concussion. And with that concussion, I decided, okay, I have a concussion. The doctors say I need to do X, Y, Z. So I'm going to do A, B, and C. And I'm going to go to the club, and I'm going to go to the parties. And I don't even like the club, nor do I like to party, but I went anyway. So, I'm concussed, I'm out, I'm not in bed sleeping. My floor mates are like, if you don't get back in bed, like, I wasn't listening to anybody. I'm just like, leave me alone, I'm grown. Like, and, because of this, I was stressed out, having several nervous breakdowns. The depression wasn't helping much. And it was to the point where I hid out from people because I just really didn't want to be bothered. So the only person who really saw me was my roommate and my teachers. I asked Jasmine one day if she would pray with me because I just felt like, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. And following that, I agreed to go to Bible study with her because I'm like, okay, maybe I should give God a try again. But I was hesitant because I was still really mad with him because I felt like he did me like such a great wrong. Like, I was hurt. And afterwards, I agreed to go to church because I'm like, you know what, fine, sure, let's go with this. In the first service, I went and I sat there and I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm not getting anything out of this. I think I just wasted my time again. And so I just told God, like, okay, you know what, whatever. And the next Sunday, during praise and worship, I began to cry really hard. My first thought was, what is going on? Because I don't like to cry in public. I mean, it happens, but I try to not to. I mean, unless I'm angry, but even still, I try not to. But I eventually managed to pull myself together until it was time for the altar call. Parents, when you grab your kids by the shirt, and that terror, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, your parents grab you, like that one-handed grab, like just the quick snatch, man. And it just fills you with, like, I can't even describe it because it's just bad. But that's what I felt God did to me that day because I heard God in the past, suggesting that, hey, this altar call is for you. You should probably get up and go answer that. And I said no, and I sat down on God. So I feel like he was like, oh, really? Okay, you're going to go, and don't think, because I will think myself in and out of every situation possible and analyze things to death. And it was just like, go now. It was quite simple. But, like, I wouldn't answer his previous altar calls because I was treating him like a bill collector. I wouldn't open the door, wouldn't answer the phone. I saw him coming, I would duck. So I was never home, blinds closed, just ducking and weaving because I didn't want to hear him. So I went and I rededicated my life to Christ. And it was funny, though, because it was during the Spanish service, so I had on a translator. Like, it was like an iPod. And I asked myself after the service, I'm like, are you sure you know what you just did? But it was like, it was just me and God, because God was like, you can't listen to the preacher because there's a delay between him and the translator, so it's just me and you. Like, so what are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna listen? A few Sundays later, there was a deliverance service, and I was curious because I had heard, God's our deliverer. That's one of his many names, and he's a healer. But I was skeptical, and I wanted proof. If I had been reading my Bible, I would have found proof because there are a lot of scriptures on deliverance, one being 2 Samuel 22:2. And he said, "The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer." But because I wasn't reading my Bible, because I was being convicted, anytime I opened any page, really, I was being convicted on everything. and it's uncomfortable. At that service, God gave me proof. During the service, I began crying again, and I'm like, okay. Second week, more tears. Really? And the more I tried to stop, the harder I began to cry. So I eventually just said, fine, cool. So then the next thing I know, I'm coughing and hyperventilating, and I'm being prayed for. And I didn't know it at the time, but coughing is one of the manifestations that demons are leaving. I was delivered from years of unforgiveness because I had a lot of people I was mad at, not just God. Bitterness, hate, rejection, suicidal thoughts, depression, and homosexuality. On top of that, I was healed too. Up until November, I had to wear a knee brace on my right knee because the cartilage was wearing away from Taekwondo and everything else I've done. And I knew that eventually the knee would have to be replaced, but I was going to try and postpone it as long as possible because a knee replacement didn't fit in my schedule. I'm happy to say that it's been 2.5 months now, and I haven't worn the knee brace at all. I can run, jump, dance, etc. with absolutely no pain at all. The last Tuesday before I came home for Christmas vacation, I had to take my PT test because I still had not passed. And I'm like, I don't want to. I really don't, but fine. And because I was wearing my knee brace to PT, but not wearing it when I was doing everything else. But a couple weeks prior to that, I'm like, no, because God doesn't do things halfway. So I'm going to trust him fully that my knee is healed. And I ran 1.5 miles in 16 minutes and 22 seconds. The only thing that were on fire were my lungs. Because I'm still out of shape, but my knee was fine. I also got rebaptized in order to seal the deal, so to speak. And that was a process in and of itself, because everyone who knows me knows that when Pastor baptized me when I was 7, I did not enjoy it, and I did not enjoy it now, because I do not like being submerged underwater for any length of time, for any reason or any purpose whatsoever. But I'm like, okay, you know what? Before I get in this baptismal pool, the spirit of fear, it must leave now, because the only fear I will have is the fear of the Lord. But my mentor told me that the enemy would try and lie to me and aggravate me after that, because I made a public declaration of my faith, and she was right. Because after I got rebaptized and rededicated my life to Christ, my friends deserted me. And I went to a school where I didn't really know people. Like, there's 2 people from Charlotte County besides me who go there. So I knew no one except the people I met during orientation. And the common opinion was that I had been brainwashed and wasn't being true to myself. But it's okay, because the Bible says, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake." for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So, like, I had a group of about 5 friends. One